Good afternoon, this is Jim, 5714 collector. I wanted to bring you a video here on Wednesday afternoon. Overnight, last night we got snow, got about 4 to 6 inches here in Northern Virginia where we live. And so had the day off from work and was out this morning shoveling snow. So that's always fun. But this afternoon I thought I'd bring you another video. I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Probably about a month ago I did the 72 Kelloggs Set. And we talked about some of the cards. I thought this afternoon we would do the 74 Kelloggs Set. I got the 54 cards here in front of me. I got them in numerical order. And I wrote down some tidbits. I went through Baseball Reference the last couple of days. And I was writing down a little bit of information about the non-Hall of Famers in the set. I'm not going to talk too much about the Hall of Famers because most people already know about the players that are in this set that are in the Hall of Fame. But I thought it would be kind of fun. I just wrote down a couple little sentences, little notes to talk about the non-Hall of Famers. So again, there's 54 cards in the set. It's a very nice looking set. I love all the Kellogg's sets and cards. And it starts off with Bob Gibson at number 1. There's Bullet Bob Gibson. Of course, everybody knows his exploits. Great pitcher that he was, 3,000 strikeouts, MVP, couple Cy Youngs. Great pitcher, 251 lifetime wins. So we'll show Bob his card number 1. The number 2 cards in the set is Rick Monday, who's representing the Cubs in this set. And he's famous. He was the number 1 draft pick in the 65 draft. Also, he's famous for saving Old Glory in a game, and I believe that was in 76. Yeah, 1976. He saved Old Glory in a game in Dodger Stadium. There's the back of his card. So that's what he's really famous for. A couple things there. Also, he hit 241 lifetime home runs. So he had a solid career with several teams and all that. So that's a pretty cool looking card. Number 3 in the set is Joe Coleman. Here he's representing the Tigers. He pitched for several teams, including the Senators. Nice looking card. And I was writing down some information about Joe Coleman. His father was a major leaguer also. He had 142 lifetime wins. Also, he won 20 games 2 times. So, pretty good pitcher, had a nice long career. And we come to Bert Campaneris. Of course, he was the spark plug for the A's teams that won 3 world championships between the years of 72 and 74. He was their leadoff hitter. He had 649 lifetime steals. And he also led the American League in steals 6 times. So that's pretty cool. Had over 2,000 hits in his career. So he had a solid career. Probably one of the borderline Hall of Famers in this set. We got Carlton Fisk, who everybody knows about him. Of course, he hit the game-winning home run in Game 6 of the 75 World Series. One of the all-time great home runs. Everybody remembers him going down the line with his hands up. Stay fair, stay fair. So there's Mr. Fisk. His card from the 74 Kellogg Set, and that's pretty sharp. So that's pretty cool. Then we have Jim Palmer, 8-time 20-game winner for the Orioles, 268 lifetime wins, pitched a no-hitter. Of course, he's the only player who would be on 3 World Series title-winning teams in 3 decades, 60s, 70s, and the 80s. So that's the back of Mr. Palmer's card. And that's a pretty cool looking one. That's pretty awesome. And the next one, we got Ron Santo. Great third baseman, gold glover for the Chicago Cubs. Had some fantastic years for them. And just showed the back of that. He also, I think, played 1 year for the White Sox. So that's pretty awesome. That's a nice card. Great player, great third baseman defensively. Very good hitter. And we come to, well, my favorite player, Nolan Ryan, who I have this card twice and both of them have cracks in them. So I'm in the market for another Nolan Ryan, preferably graded. See if I can find one at Chantilly or maybe in Strongsville. But again, I've got 2 of these and both of them have cracks in them. But there's the great Nolan Ryan. Next card in the set is Greg Lazinski. Primarily with the Phillies, 307 lifetime home runs. 1975, he led the National League in RBIs, so that's a pretty cool thing. Also finished second in MVP voting in the National League in 1977 to George Foster. So that's his back of his card in front. And we'll come up to Buddy Bell, fine defensive third baseman for the Indians and the Rangers. He had over 2,500 base hits in his career and won 6 Gold Gloves at the hot corner. So very good ball player. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, who else we got here? We got Bob Watson. Here he's playing, representing Houston. Now he's famous for scoring the 1 millionth run in Major League Baseball history. That occurred, let me make sure I get it right, on May 14th, 1975. So he's also the first hitter to hit for the cycle in both leagues. So a little bit of trivia for you guys. So, and that's Mr. Bob Watson. So pretty cool looking card there. You know, I probably could memorize all this if I wanted to, but it would take a lot of time, and it's probably 35 or 40 cards here. I'd have to, let me put that in the back of my head somewhere. So it's easier to just write it down. So Bill Singer is next. Okay, he's a 2-time 20-game winner. He won 118 games lifetime. Pitched for the Angels, the Dodgers, a couple other teams, but primarily those two. He also threw a no-hitter in his career, so pretty good pitcher in his time. He was another player that suffered with back injuries and curtailed his career, but he was a good pitcher for several years. We come to Dave May, he played with the Orioles 1969 when they were the team that lost to the Mets. I can't remember if he was on the 70 team, but I know he was on the 60. Let's take a look and see if it says 67. He got traded middle of 1970 from Baltimore to Milwaukee. He made one All-Star team. That was in 1973. He hit 25 home runs that year, so he had a pretty good season. And he finished 8th in the MVP voting that year. So pretty cool. Hit 303 that year. Next is Jim Brewer, relief pitcher primarily with the Dodgers. And he had 133 saves lifetime. And he had 4 seasons of 20 saves or more. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can remember him pitching and all that. Saw him pitch in the World Series a little bit too. So Jim Brewer there. That's pretty cool. And next card, we got Manny Sandigan. One thing I remember about him, fine defensive player. Didn't take a lot of walks. Swung at a lot of bad pitches and all that, but he was a good player. He had a 296 lifetime batting average and over 1,500 career hits. So pretty cool. Manny Sandigan of the Pirates. So we'll go to the next one here. I'm going to turn the page over because, like I said, I wrote notes about all these non-Hall of Famers because I thought it would be kind of fun. The next one is Jeff Burroughs, American League MVP in 1974 with 118 RBIs, which led the American League. 240 lifetime home runs, so he had a solid career. And I believe, if I remember right, he was a #1 draft pick, and also his son, Sean, was a #1 draft pick. So that's pretty cool piece of trivia, too. So Jeff Burroughs. And then we come to Amos Otis. Great player for the Kansas City Royals, center fielder. 3-time Gold Glove winner, led the American League in doubles twice. Also hit 3 home runs in the '80 World Series, so that's pretty cool. Also led the American League in stolen bases one time. So very, very good player. Definitely should get. He's another player just outside that line of the Hall of Fame and all that. So if the top 1% make it, he was in the top 2%. He's a very great, very, very good ball player for Kansas City for quite a few years. Had some solid years for them. Next is a player that probably most people probably have not heard of, Ed Goodson. And I had to go back in and look at myself. He had one good year, 1973, with the Giants. Another player that suffered from injuries, didn't play a lot of games over his major league career. It was the only season, 1973, where he had over 100 hits, and he also hit 12 home runs that season. But he played 8 major league seasons. So not a long career, but still pretty good ball player to make the majors. That's pretty awesome. Next, we come up to Nate Colbert. Primary played with San Diego, hit 38 home runs twice. in a season. And one thing I wanted to point out about him, he had 173 home runs lifetime, but he shares the home run record 5 in a doubleheader with Stan Musial, and holds the record for RBIs with 13. So that's pretty cool. So him and Stan the Man, in a doubleheaders, he hit 5 home runs in those 2 games, and that's the major league record. Tie him and Musial, and he holds the RBI record of 13. So that's pretty cool. And I can remember reading about him doing that in the paper and all that. So that's pretty cool. And next we come to one of the all-time greats, Reggie. There's Reggie Jackson's card. Hall of Famer, of course. MVP. You know, Reggie did a little bit of everything. Great player for Oakland and also for the Yankees. Of course, he hit the home runs 3 consecutive pitches in the World Series. I think that was 77, I think. So that's pretty cool. It was 77 or 78. So that's pretty awesome. Reggie Jackson. And we come to Ted Simmons, who had a long major league career also. That's his card with the Cardinals. Great catcher. Made the Hall of Fame a couple years back. So that's pretty awesome. So Ted Simmons. And then we got Bobby Mercer. So let's talk about Bobby Mercer. Center fielder for the Yankees. Okay. He was supposed to be the next Mickey Mantle. He had a great career now, don't get me wrong. 252 lifetime home runs. He won a Gold Glove. He was traded even up for Bobby Bonds. I think that was like 74. So that's pretty awesome. And also he had over 1,800 hits in his major league career. So he had a solid career. Nothing to complain about that. Bobby Mercer. So that's pretty cool. Next is Willie Horton. I had to go back and look at Willie's stats. I know he played with the Tigers for a long time. Played in the '68 World Series when they won the title over the Cardinals. 325 home runs and over 1,100 RBIs. So that's pretty cool. Willie Horton had a solid career. So pretty awesome stuff there. Orlando Cepeda, the Baby Bull. I think he was the second designated hitter behind Ron Blomberg, who's in this set also. But he had a great career, 379 home runs. Also won the 1967 National League MVP award. So the Baby Bull, Orlando Cepeda, Hall of Fame in 1999. Next, we got Ron Hunt. Ron Hunt was known as the player who led the league in hit by pitches 7 consecutive seasons. Okay, and in 1971 he was hit by a pitch 50 times. So that was a record for quite some time. I think what happened was there was a player that got hit 49 or 51, and if you go in and read the his bio in Baseball Reference to get the details. But Ron Hunt, so pretty cool. That's pretty painful leading the league and hit by pitches 7 times in a row. So Wayne Twitchell, had to go up and look at this guy. Let's see. Big thing for him, won 13 games for the Phillies in '73. He was an all-star. So that's the big things I found on the Baseball Reference page about Wayne Twitchell. Next, we got Ron Fairley, he played 21 seasons. So that's a pretty long time. Over 200 home runs and 1,000 RBIs. Had a fairly decent batting average. I think it was like 290 something. So Ron Fairley, pretty good ball player for a long time. Played for the Dodgers, and all that back in the early 60s. And let's see, we're going to come up to Johnny Bench. So, 2-time MVP, the greatest catcher of all time, probably, more than likely, if you ask most of the people from, that watch ball games from my era and on up, that saw Johnny play, they would probably say Johnny Bench is the greatest catcher of all time. So, and then we come to, what do we got here? We got John Mayberry. Let me see what I wrote about him. Okay, so he finished second in the American League MVP voting to Freddie Lynn in 1975. So that's pretty cool. Fred Lynn had a great year in '75. His rookie season, won MVP. Freddie Lynn of course, he went on to a great career himself. And also led the American League in walks 2 times and had 255 lifetime home runs. So John Mayberry. Okay, we got Rod Carew, over 3,000 hits, 7-time American League batting champion. hit 388. Pretty impressive. I think that was in 1977 when he won MVP. So Rod Carew. Ken Holtzman. Of course, he played with Oakland during the run also between 72 and 74. Came up with the Cubs. Also played about a half a season with the Orioles. And Ken Holtzman, he's 3-0 in World Series, played with Oakland, and he won 20 games once, won 174 games lifetime. And we got Billy Williams, and I think he was runner-up to MVP twice, 70 and 72. But Billy Williams had a great career, over 2,700 hits. Hall of Famer, of course. Mainly with the Cubs, also a couple of years with Oakland. At the end of his career, Dick Allen, who just made the Hall of Fame on the Veterans Committee vote with Dave Parker. MVP with the White Sox in 1972. Rookie of the Year 1964 with the Phillies. Again, let me just show that. Wilbur Wood. Now, here's a guy, he won 164 games lifetime. I got it written down. I'm pretty sure I'm right about it. He started back-to-back seasons. I wrote this down. This was pretty cool. He started 49 games in 1972 and 48 in 1973. That's amazing when you think about it. 376 innings pitched in 72, 359 in 73, and he won 20 games 4 years in a row. Wilbur Wood. That's some workhorse numbers. Will anybody do that anytime soon? Probably not. But pretty awesome. 376 innings. That's a lot of innings pitched. So I saw that and I said, holy mackerel, I couldn't believe it. Danny Thompson, whose life was cut short by cancer at the age of 29, I think. Played for the Twins, played for the Rangers like a half a year. 7 years in the majors. Danny Thompson. Joe Morgan, two-time MVP. Great player that he was. Of course, he played with the Big Red Machine and won MVP in 75 and 76. Drew a ton of walks. Just a great second baseman, a great patient hitter, the great Joe Morgan. And we got Willie Stargell, 475 lifetime home runs, playing with the Pirates. Yeah, We Are Family, the 79 World Series, when they beat my Orioles in 7 games. So, the great Willie Stargell. Pops. We got Pete Rose. I got to say a whole bunch about Pete because everybody knows the story. Everybody knows about the 4,256 base hits, MVP, All-Star games, Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose. We got Bobby Bonds, member of the 30-30 Club, father of Barry. And I just wanted to look real quick. Yeah, he had over 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases, 3-time Gold Glove winner. So, pretty cool. Bobby Bonds. Chris Spire, I had to look him up a little bit. Got a trivia about Chris Spire. He hit for the cycle 2 times. It's pretty awesome. He had a fairly long career. A lot of years with the Giants. I think he played with the Expos, I believe, also. So, Chris Spire. Pretty cool. Sparky Lyle, Cy Young Award winner with the Yankees. I think it was 77, 238 lifetime saves, and he led the American League in saves twice. The Yankees got him from the Red Sox for Danny Cater in a lopsided deal if there ever was one. But Sparky Lyle had a very good career. So that's pretty awesome. Cookie Rojas. Now here's the thing about him. He's a 5-time All-Star, over 1,600 hits. And he also hit a home run in the All-Star game. I believe a pinch hit home run in 1972 in the All-Star game. I read in Baseball Reference, he was the first foreign-born player to hit an All-Star game home run. So, cool little trivia for you. Cookie Rojas, mainly with, I think it was the Phillies, I believe, and then, of course, with Kansas City. Tommy Davis. Now, he played, of course, he's with the Orioles. He played with the Dodgers, had 153 RBIs in 1962 or 63, and 62. So between that time frame and 1977, that was the most RBIs in a season, 153. He's a 2-time batting champion, so pretty cool. Yeah, that year 62, Maury Wills had 104 stolen bases, so he was coming up with Maury on second quite a few times, and he took advantage of it, so that's pretty cool. We got Jim Catfish Hunter, Hall of Famer, 224 lifetime wins. great pitcher for the A's and the Yankees. So Jim Catfish Hunter. We got Willie Davis, over 2,500 base hits, over 1,000 RBIs, 398 lifetime stolen bases, and a 3-time Gold Glove winner. He did have a rough game in Game 2 of the '66 World Series. Excuse me. He made 3 errors in that World Series, in that game. That was I think that was Koufax's last. It was Koufax's last Major League game. And we come over to Bert Blyleven. Another great pitcher. Pitched for a lot of teams. Twins, the Pirates, Rangers. You know, he pitched all around. 287 wins, if I remember correctly, and over 3,000 strikeouts, and Hall of Famer. Well-deserved. Great curveball. The great Bert Blyleven. Next, we have Pat Kelly. He's a one-time All-Star. And he also stole 250 bases lifetime. Pat Kelly. Ken Singleton. Played for my Orioles for like about 10 years. Over 2,000 hits. Over 200 home runs and 1,000 RBIs and over 1,000 walks lifetime. Second in MVP voting in the American League in 1979 to Don Baylor. Ken Singleton. So that's a pretty cool looking card. Manny Mota. 150 career pinch hits. I think he's third on the all-time list for pinch hits. 304 lifetime batting average. So pretty good ball player. Manny Mota. Davey Johnson. Of course, he played for the Orioles a couple times in the World Series where they won it. Also, World Series winning manager for the Mets in '86. 43 home runs for the Braves in 1973. And he is the player that got the last hit off Sandy Koufax in Game 2 of the '66 World Series. So, Dave Johnson. Put that over there. We got Sal Bando. He played with those A's teams from '72 to '74 when they won it 3 years in a row. And what else do we have about Sal? 242 home runs, over 1,000 RBIs, and 1,000 walks in his career. So, solid career. My throat's getting a little dry talking all this. Tom Seaver, Tom Terrific, the franchise. Not going to say anything about Tom Terrific. 311 lifetime wins, 2.89 ERA, over 3,000 strikeouts. The great Tom Seaver. We got 2 more. Felix Milan, I hope I'm saying that right. 4-time All-Star and a Gold Glove winner. So, pretty cool looking card there. And we got the last one. It's Ron Blomberg. So there's card number 54, and his claim to fame is he was the first DH in American League history or Major League history. So Ron Blomberg. So there you go. That's it for today. I thought let's do something a little different. Let's talk about the 74 Kelloggs set. 54 cards, a bunch of Hall of Famers, some great players, some players maybe some of you guys never heard of. When you get time, after you watch this, go on to Baseball Reference. Check it out, doing a little research. I had a good time. It took me, I did it over a course of like maybe an hour or 2, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I hope everybody has a great rest of their Wednesday afternoon, and I will catch up with you over the weekend. Have a great day, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.